Hello everyone, welcome to one another exciting video from Tohiris. So today I'm going to share my experience of the problems that I faced in my Karizma bike and how I solved them. So yeah, the problem actually is about the common problem that a long-term Karizma user would face. So myself faced those issues and I did solve them. So let's see what was the problem and how did I solve it. So the issue that I was facing was about the constant RPM rise issue in Karizma, which is caused by the Karizma carburetor on a long-term use. I'm speaking about the Karizma original company carburetor, which causes that issue. And then I did find out Pulsar 220 carburetor can be a good replace. So let's see what's the problem in my bike. So as you see here, my RPM is constantly at the 4. It's mostly at the 4 as you see here. So and this is a situation when I am in a signal stop that I just finished coming by and stopping in the neutral situation, and my RPM is keep on rising. And if you look at the way it is, I'm doing nothing. I'm practically doing nothing. I'm not even touching the accelerator. I'm not touching anywhere, but the engine keeps on rising the RPM. So yeah, I was looking into different online forums, the different pages to see how I can get solved this problem. And what I tried to do is I did YouTube and I could find out there was a page called Irchakralogam, which is basically a different language page, where I could find out there was a guy named Syed Bhai from Bangalore who is actually giving Pulsar 220 carburetors that are custom ready fit to be made in Karizma bike. So I did contact him and he did ship me the carburetor. So the issue is like the Pulsar 220 carburetor is a little bit to be ready fit in Karizma. So what happens is there is a section that goes into the engine nozzle where it has to be slightly modified in terms of its diameter. The carburetor diameter has to be slightly modified so that it fits directly into Karizma's engine nozzle. Yeah. So what he does is he does it himself and then he ships it to us. So if you I'll put his number in the comment section, so if you want to contact him and get it shipped, he will help you with it. It takes some time. It took me around 10 days to get it shipped, but I expect that delay. So yeah, he did pack it well, and as you see here, he did send me this video before he was shipping it really. So yeah, he did make the modification. It's using the same package, and yeah, I received this shipment. This is how I received it. Yeah, and then once I received this shipment, I did then consult my nearby workshop, which is from Krishna Kumar, whom I consulted to get this replaced. Yeah. So yeah, as you know, the carburetor is in the right side of the Karizma, so you need to remove that cover from the right side, and then yeah. So the thing is, there are two things that I want to mention when you are trying to replace the Karizma original carburetor with the Pulsar 220 carburetor. So the Karizma R carburetor, the original carburetor, comes with two accelerator cables. So as you see here, there are two accelerator cables attached to it, and the Pulsar 220 carburetor comes with only one cable. So it's called A cable and B cable. So as you see on the right side, there are two cables, right? So that's the A cable and B cable. But in case of Pulsar 220, yeah, I'm now removing the A cable, and then it's the second one is a B cable by the technician. Yeah, so we remove the B cable, we keep it aside in case if you want to come back and fit the Karizma carburetor. It's kept best to keep it there, else you can remove the B cable completely from the bike, and then you can fit the Pulsar 220 carburetor because it works only with one cable. And the next thing, or the second thing, is Pulsar 220 carburetor by native, the new models comes with auto choke option, which means you will not have the choke cable fitted to it. So again, I went with the auto choke option because I wanted to myself try out and see if it is really causing any issues. But in case if you want a manual choke just like the Karizma R, you can also make that comment to Syed Bhai, who can make the manual clutch attached to this one with some customization. There'll be a slight increase in charge. So I paid like around 4,300 I think, but yeah, in case when you make it maybe 200 or 300 rupees more to be paid. So then yeah, we are attaching the Pulsar 220 carburetor here. Yeah, I have just fast forwarded the video to be convenient and not to cause any lag here in terms of viewing. Yeah, so this is coming with, that's only one cable that we are fitting in. So if you live in an area where you want chalk for regular starting due to humidity or other temperature conditions, I would suggest you go with the manual chalk options. But yeah, I myself want to try out how the automatic chalk would work with Karizma. So far no issues as well. So yeah, I'm also going to provide a detailed view of how this would look like, right? So I'm creating this video after a long-term usage of 4 to 5 months with this Pulsar 220 carburetor fitted, because I wanted to share the honest opinion and a long-term review of using this carburetor, and not just a direct fit and direct one-day review. Yeah, so yeah, let's get this fitted, and then we are going to go with 3 different ways of starting the bike. We'll keep the bike in the ideal position and see how it performs. We will give the accelerator and see how it performs, and then we'll also see some of the other challenges that comes with the Karizma carburetor that has been solved with the Pulsar 220 carburetor. So those are the positive sides, right? We also want to see what are the negative sides of Pulsar 220 carburetor. Alright, so yeah, we are almost good with the Pulsar 220 carburetor, except yeah, the back pipe that has to be fitted. Yeah, and the back pipe, it's best to replace your air filter and the back pipe, the one that you see on the back, in case if it's not fitting, because if it's long term, then the pipe would have really gone hard. Okay, let's see how it performs now. So let's first see the idling situation. So as you see here, it's really nice at the one level at the RPM, right? It's constant, it's not like jerky in case of Karizma, and as you see, the carburetor is right in place, and the idling is really good. Idling, there's no issue with the idling. Normally with the issue with the Karizma carburetor, it would be rising. So yeah, now let's see, let's try to fly with this beauty. Alright, here we go. As you can see, the RPM as it's shifting with the gear, it's steady response here, so it's going good. Yeah, I see constant rise which is happening, which is really nice, and it's not creating a major issue or some major drawbacks for me. As I'm throttling, it's really giving good way. Now yeah, so as I told, this is a long-term response, right? It's not just a one drive that I want to share with you. Now let's come to some of the negatives, or not really much negatives when compared to the positives. So an issue that I faced with the Karizma R carburetor getting replaced with Pulsar 220 carburetor is this Pulsar 220 carburetor has its Pulsar DNA, as I was observing. So if you know Pulsar, if you have used Pulsar 220 or any of the Pulsar bikes, you would know that there's that sound of Pulsar in the constant mode where it's not being accelerated, giving a sound like right. So that's the sound of, that's a very low level that you can feel if you really pay attention. So yeah, the entire Karizma DNA is getting slightly modified with the Pulsar's DNA, and you know that comes obviously, right? As you're using the Pulsar 220 carburetor, it comes with it, right? And then when you try to really give your throttle to a response that you expect in the Karizma carburetor, there is a slight delay in the power being delivered. Now when I say there is a slight delay, it's really a slight delay. Only if you are a bike enthusiast and if you pay attention, that's when you will be able to notice that slight power delay moving from 2 to 3 to 4 RPM levels. And that's the only downside of using a Pulsar 220 carburetor, which is obvious. But then on the mileage side, my mileage improved from 35 km per liter to 45 km per liter in the highways. So that's the good side, and I got over with other problems of not needing to open the tank in the morning, the petrol tank for air, because it's a quick start in the morning with Pulsar 220 carburetor. That's a good thing, and there's no stop happening because the carburetor is not performing well, right? So sometimes with Karizma carburetor, I was getting stops in between the rides, and that's not happening. So yeah, it's all positives. However, that's my experience, and thank you everyone. Bye.